Do you know what is the current user count of YouTube as a platform? It is more than 2.8 billion. Can you imagine this number, how big it is? So when as a backend engineer we are designing a system which will be handling this much amount of traffic, at that time we face a lot of problem and we need to solve that problem. The same thing happened with YouTube also. In 2010 when they were scaling or growing rapidly, at that time they also had a lot of data, and in backend they generally was storing that data in a MySQL database. So let's imagine this MySQL database as library. So let's say new book is coming, you are keeping in your library, another new book came, you are keeping in this library. But after certain point of time, when this library is full, it is impossible to scale this library. So instead of keeping the library in only one building, you make library 1, library 2, library 3, and you keep your book and divided in all these 3 libraries. So the same thing happened with MySQL also. This is called sharding. There will be multiple share of this database, and let's say we can write some business logic. Let's say all the user data from 1 to 1000 will go to shared 1 or database 1. The data for user ID 1000 to 2000 will go to database 2 or shared 2, and this logic you generally write in your application layer. So what is the problem with this sharding? The problem with this sharding is every time you are adding any new shared or removing any shared, you need to write or update the application code logic. So if you have, let's say, 100 of microservices in YouTube, at that time for each and every microservice you need to update this code if you are doing any operation with database sharding. So this was a very problematic thing. For that reason, in 2010 they built one tool called Vitess, and the task of this tool is, as an application layer, you don't have to care about in which shared this data is there. You just directly write the SQL statement, select star from user, where user ID is this request will go to Vitess. Vitess will able to handle everything, every problem or management of the all sharding of your database table. This Vitess will be able to handle it, and all connection pooling problem, all this business logic problem, everything will go in Vitess, and Vitess was able to handle this thing very easily. So this was one of the tools that got introduced by YouTube, and it got open source in 2012. So yes, in this way one of the popular open source Vitess come, and nowadays a lot of companies actually using this to manage their SQL database. So this Vitess was not actually making the MySQL faster, but it was a management tool which is helping us to manage more than one shared of MySQL very easily.